Hey guys, hey, it's Bri here coming at you guys with another video. Today I want to talk about how you should never ever let somebody else talk you out of your dream. So with that said, let's get to talking. For one thing, this is your dream. It's nobody else's. The dream that you have is your dream. And I say this, I don't know how many times I say this, but I will say it over and over and over again. What is the story that you want when you are laying in the nursing home? What is the story that you want to tell the CNAs and the nurses that come in and take care of you every single day? Think about that. When I worked in the nursing home, I always had people that would tell stories. You know, they would tell us exactly how their life went, what happened, all that jazz. And it always got me to thinking, what is my story going to be? What is the story that I have? What am I going to be telling the nurses and the CNAs when I am old and wrinkly and on my deathbed? Now, again, remember, this is your story. It's nobody else's. This is your dream. This is your book to write. It's nobody else's. You should be the one telling the story, not somebody else. You should never, ever let somebody else talk you out of the dream that you want for yourself. I originally wanted to move to California. A few years ago, I had said, I'm gonna move to California. So many people put a halt on that and said, it's so expensive, you'll never find a job, all of this jazz. Now looking back, I wish that I would have taken that momentum and I would have just gone. I would have been like, well, guess what? This is my dream, so peace out. I did that when I moved from Wyoming to South Carolina. So many people said, no, you're never gonna make it. You'll never find a job. You're gonna come crawling back here soon. Like, you don't, do you know anybody out there? You know how, and all this jazz. And all I said was, this is my dream. This is my story. This is my book that I want to write. I know that I want to help others. I also knew that I needed to get out of Wyoming at that point in time. Again, don't get me wrong. I really love Wyoming. Wyoming is beautiful. It has mountains, it has trees, it has my camping, fishing, hiking that I love to do, but I can find that down here too eventually if I start looking. See? It's always going to be around, everything that I want to do. It'll present itself. I just have to go and look for it, right? I also needed to stop letting people tell me that I can't do things. When I first wanted to start my YouTube channel, when I first originally started it, I let people talk me out of it because they said, yeah, okay, yeah, you can't do that. Like, really, what do you know about your life? So nobody actually knows what somebody has been through except for that person. Nobody knows the darkest things that somebody has gone through except for that person. Sometimes we have to go through dark things to come into the light. That's how the universe is waking us up. We had to go through these dark moments so we would learn these lessons so that we could in turn help others. So we could in turn start to wake up. We're all waking up over here. We're all coming out of the forest, whichever way you want to look at it. But it's all happening. At the same time, we should stop letting people tell us that we can't do something. You can start the business that you want to start. You can go after that dream job that you want to go after. You can move clear across the country if you want to. Heck, if I can do it, you can do it. You can start a YouTube channel if you want to. You can get on Facebook and start posting every single day. If you want to become somebody who works from home, then you can do it. You just have to stop letting what others say get to you. You have to stop letting them tell you that you cannot do it, because you can do it. I promise you that you can do it. If you have that little feeling in your gut and it gets you excited and you're like, yes, this is exactly what I want to do, and you're thinking, okay, this is exactly what I want to do, and you're thinking of ways of how to get there, then do it. Continue to do it, but don't ever let somebody tell you that you can't, because you can. I promise you, you can do it. There is always going to be somebody out there that says you can't do it. There is always going to be somebody negative. I wish that that was not true. I wish that we could just walk around and say, hey, you know, all of a sudden I feel like I'm from the Mean Girls. You know, the girl that sits there and goes, I wish we could bake cupcakes like we did back in school, and then somebody was like, she didn't even go here. I feel like that right now describing this, but it's true. Unfortunately, there's always going to be somebody who says you can't. That's just your ego also, and there's always going to be a voice inside your head that says you can't do it. That's just ego. Tell ego to shut up. Okay, do me a favor right now and tell ego to shut up, because you can do it. Don't let yourself talk yourself out of your dreams, and don't let anybody else talk you out of your dreams. Especially yourself. Don't let yourself talk yourself out of your dreams. You know how many times I've talked myself out of doing something that would have ended up being 100% exactly what I needed to do. It would have gotten me to the point where I wanted to be that much faster, but I talked myself out of it, because we are our own worst critics, correct? We are continually putting ourselves down. We're continually saying, no, we cannot do it. No, 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 no. When in fact we can't. We can do whatever the heck we want. Oh, heck yeah. We can totally do whatever we want. We can move clear across the country. We can sell everything that we own and move clear across the country. We can start that business if we want to. We can get on YouTube. We can go back to nursing school. We can go and become a doctor. We can become a lawyer. Whatever it is that you want to do, but we have to stop letting people tell us we can't. I remember that I wanted to be a history teacher, and so many people told me that's not a practical thing. You can't do that. I wish I would have gone to school for history, because I love history. History is one of the things that I absolutely love. Looking back now, honestly, I wouldn't have become a history teacher, true, but maybe I would have, because then I would have still been helping people. I would have been teaching people. It would have maybe gotten me to where I needed to be that much faster had I gone with what I wanted to do originally. But again, I listened to so many people. They told me I needed to go to school to be a nurse. I needed to go to school to be this. I didn't want to be a nurse. Honestly, I never had any inkling of ever wanting to be a nurse. I did it because everybody told me I had to do it. It was never something that I wanted to do. So in return, I never had the enthusiasm. I never finished nursing school because the fire that needed to be in the pit of my stomach was never there. I got good grades, I went to class, but it was almost like I was going with the motions because I let everybody talk me out of what I wanted to do. Now don't get me wrong, not everybody in my life is that negative. There are people that are in my life that have always been like, dude, go for what you want, you can totally do that. Bri, I can totally see you doing that. You would be awesome at that. Yes, do that. But there has always been some people there that have been like, no, you can't do that. And there will always be somebody there. There will always be somebody there saying, no, you can't do that. That's okay. The universe puts those people in your place, in the way of you, because it's testing you. It wants to make sure that you really do want this. Is this what you want to do with your life? It wants to make sure. So it's gonna test you and say, hey, I'm gonna put this person in front of you right now. They're gonna tell you you can't do this. If you listen to them, then you don't want it that bad. But if you don't listen to them and you keep doing what you're doing, then you want it. I'm gonna give it to you. Here you go. And the universe is going to, in return, deliver it to you and help you out. Also, it's gonna start sending you things. It's gonna start sending you signs. It's gonna start sending you directions. It's gonna start putting people in your life that's gonna help you get to that point that you need to get to help you get to your dream. The universe is gonna start responding because you said to that person, yeah, but this is what I wanna do, so I'm gonna do it. You gotta start standing up for yourself, essentially. I mean, and in a nice way, always do it in a nice way, never like, oh, okay, well, I'm sorry, but your point is not mutual. Like, your point doesn't make a sense. I'm not gonna do what you tell me to do. I'm gonna do what I wanna do, so F you, bye. Kind of do it in a nice way and be like, yeah, I understand where you're coming from, but this is my dream, this is my story, this is what I really want to do with my life, and I'm gonna go for it, and I hope you support me, and I hope you come along with me. If those people don't come along with you, if they do not support you, that is okay. Leave them there. They're not supposed to be in your life. Even if they're family members, even if they're friends that you've had since birth, that's okay. Some family members don't come with us our entire way. We have these contracts with these people that the contract maybe ends somewhere on your timeline, like maybe it ends right here and you continue life without them in your life. That's okay. I have certain family members that just don't understand me and they don't want to be a part of my life, and that is okay. That's how they view it. Now, I still, every single morning, I still send light and love to them. I still think about them in a loving and endearing way, and I still say, I hope that they get everything that they want in life, and I still send them love, and I still say, I hope that they find the love that they are looking for, and I hope that one day that they will look at it and realize, oh, there was a method to her madness. She totally makes sense now. I get what direction she was going in. It just didn't make sense to me back there. And they come back into my life and say, hey, we're so proud of you. Welcome, like you're doing great, and all this stuff. Eventually, I hope those people do come back into my life. Because of course they are family, they are blood relations, so you know, of course we want them in our lives. But again, just because they're family doesn't mean that they're supposed to be in our lives our entire. If they're not supporting you, if they're not saying that you can do this, if they're not your cheerleaders, if they constantly tell you you cannot do it, then they shouldn't be in your life. It doesn't matter who they are, they shouldn't be in your life. The people that should be in your life are the ones that support you and say you can do this and are your cheerleaders, just like you would do for them. You know, what you put out there is going to come back to you. So if you're telling people you can do it, you can, I totally believe in your dream, you're going to do this 100%, yes, go for it, all of that stuff is going to come back to you. Don't forget that. You know, I constantly support people, 100%. I do that through my videos. I make these videos because I support other people. If that's what you want to do, I support you 100%. It is true. From the bottom of my heart, I support you in anything that you want to do. Take this as your sign. If you're watching this right now, this is your sign saying, yes, you can do it. Stop listening to that person and start doing what you want to do. So you've got to stop listening to the person that says you cannot do it. You need to stop listening to the voice inside your head that says you cannot do it. And you need to start listening to the voice, the little teeny tiny voice that we kind of dim down through our lives that says, yes, you can do it. And we need to raise that volume up so that it starts to push ego out and it starts to push those people that say we cannot do it out. We do not need that kind of negativity in our lives. I honestly believe that some people come into our lives and then they leave. They're in our lives for a reason. They help us get through that point, but then they probably leave. You know, I have never had a friend that's been in my life for too long. I have one friend that she's been in my life for my almost more than 10 years, I think. And she has my nieces. I love them dearly. I will always love them so much. But she is the only friend that I have had for that long. I've never had a friend that's lasted longer than that. Because they come into my life at a certain time. But the minute they start saying I can't do it, I usually kick them out. I usually have a tendency of figuring out a way to kick them out of my life. I don't realize I'm doing it at the time, but it is. So when I started saying, yes, I want to start making YouTube videos, I want to start helping people, I want to start getting my voice out there, I want to start making my blog, I'm working on a project that I'm so excited to share with other people, and I'm starting to do things that I have always wanted to do for so many years. I had to start pushing those people out, and the universe started pushing those people out too, and they started bringing in people that support me. They started bringing in other people that have blogs. They started bringing in other people that have YouTube channels. They started bringing in other creators. They started bringing in people that were gonna help me get to the project that I'm working on. And they started sending those kind of people in my direction because I had finally started pushing those people out on my own. I had literally pushed a couple people out that said, you can't do this. And I said, okay, well, then you don't belong in my life. Okay, bye. And the universe responded and said, here are some people that actually support you. So remember, this is your story. What is the story that you want to tell on your deathbed? This is your story. This is your life. You're the one that's going to be telling it to the nurses, to the CNAs, to the people that are taking care of you at the end of your life. What is the story that you want to tell them? This isn't anybody else's story. This is your story. This is your dream. This is your goal. This is your hope. It's nobody else's. So stop letting them tell you you cannot do this and start doing it instead. And start saying it. Start putting it out into the universe that you are doing this. You are opening up that business. You are going to become a nurse. You are going to become a doctor. You're going to buy that house. You know, start acting as if and start putting it out into the universe, and watch as the universe responds and starts putting people into your life and starts sending you those signs and starts sending you that stuff. Because again, this is your life, this is your story. Start living your own life and story. with that said, I hope that this helps somebody. I hope that you go out there and you start telling people, yeah, I get it, I get where you're coming from, but this is my story. So please stand behind me, yeah, and quietly you can say, or stand aside, and start doing what it is that you want to do today. So with that said, I love you guys. Bye.